All right, everybody. Welcome back to another Art with Errol podcast. Let's go. All right, man. Whew. It's sometimes crazy trying to get the live stream to actually go live on both channels the way I'm doing it. So, you gotta bear with me on this. But looks like it's running on both channels now, which is great. This makes it easier using just OBS. Um, but if in case you don't know, I'm Errol. I'm your host, Art with Errol, and I'm a gamer, a graphics designer, retired veteran, Navy, 20 years of service. So you know, yeah, I do art and gaming. So I'm trying to fix this dock here. Let's see here. All right, we should be good now. Let's see. Boom, close. Okay, let's do a message here just to make sure. Sometimes I gotta do like some little trial and error test runs and stuff to see if things are working. Okay. All right. I mean, stuff seems to be working. Chatbot's not working, but stuff seems to be working. There, it's working on that channel. All right. Anyway, so we're live on YouTube and Twitch, and we'll post it up on Spotify, and the podcast goes pretty much everywhere. All right. So let's just talk about the fourth. Happened this weekend. Happy 250, right? But I had to work, so it's not like I was enjoying the day. I was pretty much working, so which I mean, work wasn't bad or anything like that. But you think of the fourth, you think of barbecuing and having some beers or whatever, or seeing the fireworks and all that stuff. Well, I was more on the working part of that, so I didn't get to participate in any of that stuff. But other than that, man, I was just tired after that. So mostly Sunday, I rested most of the day and cleaned the house and stuff. But we are moving into this week, y'all. And last week was pretty decent. We got some sketch work done, we got our podcast done, and we got some game time in, which allowed us to complete 007 First Light. So I was happy about that. We completed it on Friday. That was great. We can move on to the next game. I still haven't beat Crimson Desert, but we got this week coming up on the 9th, which is Thursday. We have Black Flag Resync coming out. So the games just don't stop. And at the end of the month, what we got? We got Halo Campaign Evolve. So this month, it's got 2 good games coming out. There's some RPGs coming out, but those take forever to beat. And Crimson Desert is I've made it through that. So so we're kind of like, gaming wise, we're stacked and behind. Stacked and behind when it comes to playing some games. Our artwork is coming along though. We're working on the Annunciation with the angel Gabriel delivering the message to Mary and all that. So we should be able to do a little bit of painting this week. I may not be able to get anything done tomorrow because I have an appointment, but on Wednesday, so we'll be just one art day this week, I believe, just due to scheduling of what I got going on in life. So yeah, more than likely I will just do some painting on Wednesday, and Thursday we'll play some Black Flag, and Friday we'll play we may be able to play a little bit of Black Flag on Friday as well. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at scheduling wise, and we'll work it that way. So we're looking at maybe one art day this week, y'all, where we could do some painting. We could sit and do some painting. So, I think other than that, I mean, life has been good for the schedule for this week. I think things are good. There's a lot of gaming news happening. They just had like a few hours ago the Xbox thing. It's hitting all over the internet. People are really quick and gotta be first when it comes to a lot of this stuff. You see the post, and then it's like people are making their videos right after. That's the folks that don't have to work a job. They're able to just make videos right after stuff happens, which is fine. That's cool. I ain't got to be first when it comes to stuff like that. I'll just post whatever when I can. But yeah, 3,200 jobs, man. That is nuts, dude. By the fiscal year of 2027. So Asher Sharma, the new CEO of Xbox, is cutting some fat, trimming some fat off the company. Layoffs are happening immediately. 1,600 immediately. Whew, that's about half, right? So, man, it's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. Like the way things are going when it comes to video games and stuff, it's a little nuts. It's a little nuts, but I guess we got to go through all these trials and tribulations before things smooth out, I guess. And a lot of people are upset not only with Sony but now with Xbox because that they're cutting studios that were working on some projects, and now that some of them going independent, some of them I guess they don't even know what they're doing. Arcane's gonna be figuring out what they're doing, but they're supposed to be making that Marvel Blade, and that would be one game that I'd be really interested in, but just see that game may not happen at this point. So some big announcements, man, when it comes to that. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I understand the Sony thing too. Like, people want to have their hard copy media, but I mean, the truth of the matter, I think, is that you never really had full on hard copy media for the last few years or whatever. Because most of it has been like you get half of a game, you have to download the other half or something, or you get a code in the box. Or, a lot of times, the game requires like online connections or something like that. I mean, so, did you really own it even though you had the disc? That's the big question. Did you really own it even though you had disc for some of these games? Probably for some, it was the full game and, you could just play it any time, but not all. And I think that's where, the complication comes in. So, a lot of people upset about that. A lot of people upset about all these layoffs at Xbox now. It's just like a disastrous situation going on in the gaming industry. But, that's enough of that news. Let's talk about our channel, man. So, we've been working hard to try and grow our channel. And that's what I like to talk about on my podcast. Just like, how we're doing and how we're progressing, and maybe people can learn from what I'm going through. It's always been a struggle with me to like gain followers or grow my channel or get like people to participate, or returning participation, I guess. It's always been a struggle, and it could just be the way I talk, could be the way I deliver my content. There's a lot of different factors. I've been trying to get better at those things, because I figure, if anything, if I can improve a little bit here and there, we'll gain more. And I think, the gaming channel, since we've been doing a bit of gaming news and I've been getting a little better at it each time, I think, we're starting to see we're starting to see some growth. We're at 361, man, which is great. Because when I look at my art channel, which I've had for quite a while, my art channel is at 385. So I done almost caught up to the art channel already, man, which is It's crazy. And the thing is I can't do artwork every day. If I could, I probably could have a lot more video content. But we done got it to 2 days a week, 2 days of gaming, 2 days of art. That's what I've been trying to do. One day of a podcast and just talking about, how we're handling things. And the growth is so slow on the art channel. It's like, I'm going to pass the art channel with our gaming channel. That's crazy. So as far as right now, when I look at Social Blade and it gives me the projection, it's showing we should hit 500 subscribers beginning of next year. Like this fluctuates a lot. At one point it was saying we would hit it November of this year. Now it's saying February of next year. And my goal was to try and get 500 subscribers this year on that channel or the art channel, whatever channel came first. But the fact that, it bounces around, it's kind of hard to judge. And just as of today, showing beginning of next year, basically. But we have been seeing growth on the gaming channel more than the art channel. That is for sure. That is for sure been happening. So, and the videos are still kind of all over the place. I never really understand it. Sometimes I have videos that hit, and then other times it's like, it's our average is probably like 300, I think. If you just was to average out the video numbers here. I had one that just did 85, which was crazy. Like, it only did so low. I don't know what video that was. Last Monday, I guess that was. Man, that one didn't do well. But then we had some other videos that went above 1,000. I never understand it. I never understand it. Sometimes I have a good video, and then other times it's just like ups and downs, lots of ups and downs. The thing I think I always want to avoid is that submarine effect, which for the most part on the gaming channel, all my graphs are up. They go down every now and then. I'll have a dip, but for the most part the graphs show up, which is good. But the art channel is not like that. It's definitely not like that. I have a lot of submarines, which I been trying to work harder to make the content. And I thought by having the podcast on the art channel with, the artwork, that would be enough to have more ups. But I definitely see a lot more downs, which I don't understand. But it is what it is. People come and they go, I think YouTube still has weird bot issues anyway as well. But I don't know. And it done started raining, y'all. I knew they said it was gonna rain today, but I didn't believe it because it was hot and I didn't see. It was gray outside, but it wasn't really dark. But yeah, there's some rain coming down now. Crazy. I don't know if you can hear it on the microphone. This microphone, I think, kind of tunes that stuff out. But as far as growth, man, I think we're doing pretty decent. I'll keep pushing to try to get at least 2 art days a week. So we can hopefully. I want to do more, but it's always a time issue. And I've said this before. I'm not a full-time creator. I just get my little 2 hours in here and there during the week. If I can do Monday through Friday, that is great. That doesn't always happen. So and that's kind of where I cap out. And usually the podcast is short because I have other stuff going on Mondays. But this week, I definitely plan on getting some gaming in at least Thursday and Friday. And, that will definitely be Black Flag. So we'll be playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I don't know if when we can pre-download it. I need to look on Steam and see when I can pre-download it. Uh, Let me see. Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I don't see like an option yet. I don't know when you can pre. It usually lets you do the pre-download, before the release date or something. Maybe it's the day before or something. Just says coming July 9th. So it's kind of where we at on that, But we'll definitely work on the painting on Wednesday, since I got an appointment tomorrow. But other than that, I think things have been going well. A lot of crazy stuff with gaming right now, and the comments and the posts that people are making on that stuff are so ridiculous, man. Like, if you ever go on X and look at, like, especially like from the PlayStation backlash, those comments were crazy, I can only imagine what kind of comments. Like, I haven't even looked. Well, I'll just take a look, just to kind of take a little peek and just see, like, oh, there's already people commenting on her post, or like retweeting. What does this person say? Nowhere near as bad as insiders were hyping it up to be. Okay. 20% of staff being cut and 5 studios being offloaded isn't bad. That's what this guy. Oh, that was Tom Warren. That's a lot of studios to get rid of, man. So yeah, they're getting rid of 20% of the staff, and they're dropping 5 studios. That's a lot, man. That is a lot, man. I think some people misread the room, man, on some of this stuff. The comments just be sometimes off the chain too, man. The comments sometimes just be off the chain, but yeah. Whew. What a time, man. What a time. I think things will eventually get better, I guess. I think in my video I posted today, I was talking about, all roads lead to PC. And I really believe that. I think that the consoles are becoming PCs. At the end of the day, they already have in the PlayStation 5, PC hardware, right? You got your storage drive is a M.2 slot, right? M.2 drive. They're powerful APUs, which are, they're custom made, right? But they're still like, they're basically low PCs, and they're the level of what these chips can do are catching up to what a tower can do. They're not like on par with like the greatest graphics card that they have, which is like the 5090 or nothing like that. But low to mid tier, they're starting to get up in those ranges, right? You look at the Steam machine coming out, and it's weaker than the PS5. But it's a PC, right? So it's definitely interesting, or what's going on. I think eventually they're gonna have to be on board with opening those consoles up. Like if Project Helix is gonna be a hybrid PC, a console PC hybrid, that's going to allow you to play Steam and all that other stuff, like the supposed rumors or leaks say, if that's true, it's just a low-level PC at that point, that can play console games as well, But that's just my thought process on all that. Like, they're becoming PCs. Eventually, they're just going to be giving you a pre-built PC. They're gonna be like, yeah, here's here's our Sony pre-built PC, or here's our Xbox pre-built PC. You know, that's what it's going to be eventually become, I think, you know. So that's what I said, like all roads lead to PC. And then once you got that, you know, they can develop the games for just PC and it will work on there, you know. I don't know. At least that's my thought process. It may not happen next gen, but I think the roads are leading that way. Is what I see the future going to. You know, where everybody will end up with a PC / console hybrid kind of device that you can connect to your TV or a monitor or whatever, and it's going to be quite powerful, or at least, you know, low level PC or mid level PC power, you know. At some point, I think they'll get there, right? May not be this next gen coming up, but maybe the gen after that, you know. And then at that point, what do the companies become? Just software, right? I mean, Microsoft used to be just software anyway, so it will be easy for them to transition to that, you know. Sony may be a little bit more on the slower side to wanting to do that, but I don't know. I feel like that's eventually what's going to happen. You know, like I said, it may not be next gen, but maybe the gen after that, it might be like, hey, here's your pre-built Sony whatever at some point, right? That's what I think, you know. But anyway, we're just kind of rambling now, y'all. I didn't really have much for today other than that, like, it was a busy weekend. I worked the weekend. I was tired on Sunday. I did some cleanup and I worked on some projects that I needed to do graphics for. So I did that, and then you know, I had work today. So we're doing our podcast now, and this is kind of where we're at. And I think our way forward for the week, you know, should be pretty solid. You know, like I said, tomorrow I'll do the bit of gaming news video for the gaming channel, but I won't be able to do artwork because I need to make it to my appointment, and or if I have time when I come back from my appointment, maybe I could squeeze in a little art time on Tuesday. We'll try to work it out. You know, I would like to get 2 days of artwork, so if I can get Tuesday, it'll be great. If not, Wednesday I should be able to do artwork, and Thursday and Friday I should be able to get some game time in, which will be great. Shouldn't be a problem at all. So that's our way forward for the week, y'all. Hope you guys enjoyed our podcast. This was a little shorter today. We got the podcast, like I said, on we're on Twitch. We're on YouTube, Art with Errol, you know, and then also on Spotify. I'll load that up after this stream. The stream ends. We'll get that loaded to Spotify, which puts it on Apple Podcasts and Amazon Music is where the other one is. So I think I'm on all the major podcasting platforms, which is cool. You know, I figured that out, you know, just using the RSS to put it on all. But, yeah, man. Interesting times. Appreciate everyone. Don't forget to like us and follow us on all the platforms that you can find us on. And, yeah, man. We will be back tomorrow, I guess, after my appointment if I can. If not, it'll be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And that's supposed to be artwork Tuesday, Wednesday, but, you know, maybe just Wednesday and then, you know, gaming on Thursday, Friday. So that's our schedule. Black Flag Resync this week. So if you are interested in watching me get my butt kicked while I try to play it, because I haven't played that in forever. But you know, it's completely remade, so like I wonder if it's gonna handle different. But we'll see, right? We'll see. So till next time, y'all, don't forget to like and subscribe.